All right, everybody, welcome back to the Nitty Gritty. We are here with Monty Deer, the CEO of Kizik, right?
Correct. That's
Kizik
right.
what?
You got it.
Kizik, is it shoes? Is it Kizik shoes?
Yeah, just the Kizik footwear, and we're at kizik.com, KIZIK.com.
Now, is it Kizik or Kizik? Because I don't want to put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Fastest.
It's Kizik.
Okay.
You were right up front.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming in. This was an episode I'm excited to do. I was telling you before, I have a slight shoe problem. If you ask my wife, she would say it's bigger than a slight shoe problem. And so
I call it a slight shoe problem.
You call it a slight.
Yeah.
Well,
Does that make you feel any better?
Well, we have the same slight shoe problem.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because there's 40 shoe boxes behind that closed door right there, and those are the hidden ones.
Well, let's see if it's the same shoe problem I have. To keep my marriage intact and moving forward, I piled up 12 pair this morning and put them in a pile, and so Bobby's she's gonna stick with me if I get rid of a few pair. So that's sounds like we have the same shoe
I
problem.
buy a lot so I can donate a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've had to turn into the rule of get one, give one,
There we go.
so I don't get it more. Anyways, well, thank you for coming on. I'm excited to learn. Monty, tell me, before we jump into Kizik, I want to learn a little bit about you. Like, where are you from? Where did you grow up? Kind of what's your story? Like, before we kind of jump into Kizik.
Sure. I'm from Norman, Oklahoma, so I'm a Sooner.
Oh,
My
okay.
dad was a football player, quarterback at the University of Oklahoma back in the early 60s. So I stayed a Sooner. My kids are Sooners.
So you're like royalty out there, man. Quarterback in Soonerville.
Yeah, that's right. My dad's a BMOC. So anyway, I'm from Norman, Oklahoma. I came out here to school, attended Brigham Young University, went to law school, and then after law school, I was a business and M&A attorney for 26 years, and
Wow.
so
Out here?
Out here. The last 20 years of my career have been out here in Utah.
Okay.
Ran a regional firm. Did a lot of middle market deals with Utah companies, and then
What made you want to go into law?
that's a good question. When I went to BYU, my dad said you can major in anything you want as long as it's accounting or engineering. and actually, I tried engineering first, and then
I tried engineering for a semester, and
You did?
So my mom thought I was going to be an engineer. So I going into school, I had like an engineering scholarship somehow. And like my first class, I was like, yeah, no, this isn't going to work. So I lasted a semester.
Yeah. So I went to accounting school here, and coming out of accounting school is kind of like, am I going to go to business school or am I going to go to law school? Flipped a coin. I didn't flip a coin, but it was a close call.
You
Decided
didn't want to go into accounting then?
No. I knew I didn't. Just
Okay.
wanted the background, wanted the education.
Okay.
Went to law school here at BYU's law school, and yeah, I've loved it. I loved being an attorney. I loved working with different entrepreneurs, different businesses. Every day was different, and
Well, especially in the M&A space. I mean, there's all sorts of deals going on all the time.
yes, and I have so many friends who I've got to help build their business, then sell their business. In Utah, we build and sell businesses. It's usually people from out of Utah that buy them.
Yeah.
So that was my career for years and years. And you want me to tell you about what got me out of law and into shoes?
Yes.
Holy cow. My good friend Mike Pratt, who was the founder of OGIO International, bag company, OGIO.
Sure.
He can't see any problem and not solve it.
Right.
And he's just one of those incredible Einstein-like inventors.
So all the bags are so good. I love OGIO.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And they had OGIO was a bag company and had a great fire to it, didn't it?
Sure.
And that's Mike. And
And how did you know him?
so I knew him because his colleague David Wonderly at OGIO was good best friend of mine, and so OGIO was in the process of selling to Callaway
right?
Golf.
Yeah.
So Callaway was looking at OGIO at the time. David introduced me to Mike Pratt because inside of OGIO, Mike and a small team were working on the shoe problem. What's the shoe problem?
Wow.
Nobody likes the hassle of putting on their shoes or tying their shoes. And Mike figured that out. So for a few years, he had been thinking about and solving the problem of how do you step into shoes hands-free?
Interesting. So he was starting that process
Inside
while
of
OGIO was still around.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
And so Callaway, his OGIO partners, and Callaway said, "You go ahead." He purchased the assets from OGIO prior to the sale to Callaway, and started. I helped him start as his counsel a new company that was building shoes. And what we bought out of OGIO were patents,
Right.
and just the trademark and just the start of a shoe company. They hadn't sold any shoes yet.
Okay.
So that I started seeing that from Mike, and like you, well, I'm not that much of a shoe lover, but Mike took me in the basement of his home, and he started showing me. He had all these legal file boxes, and he said, one said F1 on it. He pulled it off. He pulled out some prototypes. I said, "Whoa, that is amazing." Almost like what I showed you when we started today,
Right.
a shoe that you could step into, but this was like built in his house. Then he showed me another way, and then another way, and then another way. And I was just blown away on day one. After a year or two of working with him as his counsel, I said, "Mike, I want to do this with you."
Wow. So he's kind of he's like a mad scientist and just always inventing something.
Yes.
Was
And-
he creating like the prototypes himself?
Yes, but then he had
Because he had OGIO, so he knows how to
He did.
source it and make product.
He did. He sourced it with a team at OGIO, a small team. Then when OGIO was sold, he started building a larger team, and so that team is still with us. Steve Herman is an incredible shoe builder. Craig Cheney is our chief innovation officer. You can't believe what they can do. They can make any shoe, any boot, anything hands-free, so you can just step right into it.
Huh. How long ago
I'm
was
sold.
this? I know, right?
Yeah,
Do you know how far it is down there for me?
it gets farther too.
It gets farther.
Doesn't it?
I have to go out around the corner and then all the way down to my shoes. And it's funny because it's like every step in, well, they're called sandals. Like that's pretty much all you got, right? And it's so nice.
Or
By
the
the
ones
way,
where you ruin the shoes and you just leave the back and you just step
like,
through.
all of mine are ruined because I try to find the perfect way to lay some just loose enough to get in, but just tight enough to not be like sloshing around.
Yeah.
And it never works because, they just have cardboard back there in the heel and it gets all bent and messed up. But
Well, and that's one of the things we have to teach our consumers is that this is not a slide in.
right.
This is not a slip on. This is a put your foot in and it's on, baby.
Right. Right.
And because that's a new thing.
It's
Yes.
totally a new thing.
For
sure it
because
is.
It's a new thing.
It's not just like, it's like I said, you could kind of rig it to work,
Oh, yeah.
but it's still not ideal. So to figure that out and just, watching the heels just bounce back every time when you're stepping in your shoes. And by the way, there are 15 double E's in pretty much all of these online.
Oh, good.
This is a problem because I just found 2 pairs of church shoes and about 12 pairs of just, sorry, Nike, I'm out. I'm going to Kizik. So
Oh, that's funny. So, I mean, gosh, I have so many questions. It's so fascinating. When he started with this idea, is what you have now similar to like his first prototype? Like this idea, to Cam's point, of having enough like stability in the heel to where it's not just a floppy piece of fabric, but there's something there. Like, I'm just so curious, like how he came up with that.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about Mike. He was an experienced inventor. Most inventors have an idea to solve a problem, and they look for one path.
right.
Mike was wise enough to think, okay, I need to think of the best path or paths to solve this problem, but I need to patent and protect not only the best 2 or 3 paths, but all of the paths. And so that's what he started doing. He started looking for all the ways to step into shoes hands-free. And right now we have, gosh, if you look at all of our domestic and foreign patents. We have more than 90 now.
Oh, wow.
And we're filing patents. We're finding new ways. We're filing new patents.
Were
every
you
month.
doing that for him?
No, I was his business attorney.
Okay.
His
Patent.
attorney was Eric Nielsen, who's working at a big regional firm here in Salt Lake City. The day Mike hired me to be the CEO, I called Eric and said, "Let's go, buddy." And he moved over from Snell and Wilmer, and office is right next to me now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
So is he part of the company or is he still
part of the company every day.
Really?
So think about this. Most inventors, most companies, that when they think of a new way to do something, they've got to call their attorney and say, "Okay, remember what we're doing? We're the shoe company." And the attorney says, "Yes. And remember, we like to do these 3 things." Not Eric. He knows.
Right.
We tap him on the shoulder and say, "Come look at this." And it's royal we, because I don't invent anything. We have a lab that does that.
Sure.
But he also tells them, think about this. He also tells them, "Hey, you're inventing in this direction, but there's a lot of busyness, a lot of black space in this area of invention. Turn right, turn left. Let's invent into white space so that we own it and there's no question." Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So
Your humility is interesting. We got to get. I want the CEO to come out. I like how you are just playing up everybody else.
Hey.
I'm like, this guy. They're really smart and really good at their job when they're just giving all the love to everyone else. So I respect that. That's really cool. But we're gonna pull some confidence out of.
How about this? I'm a good team
not
builder.
confidence. Yeah, well,
I'm a good team
right?
builder. Yeah.
I mean, isn't that a CEO's number one job? And I mean, where you understand the law side, and just hearing you talk about, it's Mike, right? Mike is
Mike Pratt, yes.
like his mind and just because usually people like that need somebody to
The
kind of
validation.
like maybe a little bit of that, right? Artist, but sometimes you got to like rein them in a little bit.
okay.
Right. And so I would think, because I can be kind of like that, I'll go off on a million different, if I don't have Annie in here, just like, whoa. We can't sell barbecue at 6 different places in the stadium next week, no matter how much money you think we're going to make. Like, we can't pull it off, But
Well, one thing about Mike, he's able and he's done it all, including all the business part, all the
Right.
sourcing part. But, he's established enough now. We are rolling enough that he can do what he wants to
that freedom.
do and what he loves to do and let our team do the rest.
Right.
And that's sort of how it's played out now.
So when he brought you on, had you sold any shoes prior to you
Yes. So
coming
I
on?
came on board in 2019.
Okay.
Kizik had been selling shoes into a wholesale channel for a year and a half at that point.
Was it still relatively small at the time?
Very small, and yes, with a great little team.
Sure.
That proved the concept. You can imagine trying to get a shoe out there for the first time and tell someone
my gosh.
step into it.
In this market,
it's no
it'd
idea.
be
Yeah,
so hard.
that'd be terrifying.
I'm so interested though. Why? Like, did Mike, right? Pratt?
Yeah, Mike. Uh-huh.
Why he was like? When he brought you on? Did he then step away from
Well,
the company? And did he just kind of go back into the lab like inventor?
That's about right. Although he had a small team that was building the company, and Mike wasn't in the office 40 hours a week. Although the guy never sleeps, so he's tinkering all the time. So yes, it was just a matter of having a good team that were mostly shoe dogs and engineers, and they needed a leader. And I was able. Well. I was
That's
willing,
an incredible.
I was willing. I'm learning to be able. How about that?
Right.
That's an incredible amount of trust, for an inventor to kind of hand their baby over to somebody and say, "Here,
Yes.
kind of take it over."
Yes.
But it does keep him in the lab. Like you said something a second ago that was interesting. Like he can do what he really loves doing now. Because I can do the, whatever this stuff is. But he can just be
Operations,
down.
exactly.
He can be the mad scientist and just go to work.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's huge. I mean, because we all have the things that we're passionate about. And it's like, that's what a team is, right? You can stay in the lane that you love and you do better than anyone else. and you bring other people in to support in areas where it's like the second I look at a spreadsheet, it's just like, just sell it. Just sell Bam Bams. I'm out. If I have to look at this for more than 10 minutes, I'm done.
I mean, I think there's a little bit of that in Mike, but
Right.
the other thing that was new for Mike, new for Mike and new for me, frankly, is we pulled together a really great digital marketing team led by Alex MacArthur. I don't know if you all have met Alex. You should have him on. He's super interesting. He was CMO at Purple Mattress and lifted them. Now he and his team are lifting the heck out of us.
That video, I just watched a video that was about the 30-year-old that still lives at home.
Yeah.
Oh, I was dying. That was so funny. And it totally felt like Purple. Like it had that kind of signature to it.
Hang on, we got another one. We got another one coming here in a couple of weeks. Watch for it. Watch for it.
Videos.
Put it this way: it will teach us that we can't use our hands when we put on a hands-free shoe. Just we call it hands off, but I think I won't say any more than that. Just watch for it in a couple of weeks. You'll laugh your head off.
So,
wait.
how did you feel coming out of maybe the more structured world of law and walking into CEO of a startup? I mean, those are very different worlds. The day-to-day is very different. I mean, what was that like for you?
It was challenging. And part of the reason I made the jump over was I sort of had this very vivid realization. Monty, you can keep doing the same thing you've been doing. Go sell 50 more companies over the next 5-10 years. Or here's a new set of experiences. Give it a go. See if you like it and see what you learn. And so,
It's awesome.
I started reading books. I was reading a book a day. I was reading a new book every day about how to lead, how to be a CEO. I'd done some leadership before,
Right.
Both in church and at my law firm.
Sure.
So I had some experience, but not this kind.
Yeah. Do you remember, was there a moment where you're like, I want to go back to law?
Bobby, my wife, has asked me that several times, and usually my answer has been, "Well, not yet, not yet." There are hard days and challenging days,
Right.
and days where, in the pandemic, we had
Right.
thousands of pair of what we call our 1.0 shoes. We used to have shoes that were mostly aimed toward an older audience, darker leather, more expensive. And all of a sudden, these 130 stores that we were slated to ship to all closed. And these are small businesses. You ask yourself, are we going to ship all these shoes to these small businesses and hope they can pay us? And we decided pivot time. We've been moving toward a direct to consumer, all digital business, and we made the move.
Is that when you brought in the
Alex
digital team?
Yeah, Alex is already with us, and we were already building our digital business. But it was really scary to make a jump all at once.
Had to go into high gear. Right
Yeah,
That's a
there.
big pivot.
We did, yeah, and it was scary. And fetal position, all of that. Pulled our team together and made a plan, executed the plan, and
But
we
it was a blessing, probably, right? I mean, now you're looking at it
in
like,
retrospect,
yes,
you're dead right.
yeah. Isn't that interesting? COVID's been like that for so many people in
Yeah.
business because,
Like if they've gotten through it, it's, they can look back and see,
right.
all of the.
Well, how fast we can accomplish things too. It's like
Yeah.
you take the bureaucracy out of it and just when it's necessity and it's like you've got all the, thousands of pairs of shoes just sitting there like, what the crap are we going to do? It's like, look how fast we did it. And now we have all this experience and now we're not going to change. Like you look at the website, it's amazing, right?
Yeah, and just so you know, it took a while to crawl out of that. You could call it a hole, you could call it whatever you want to call it, but this pivot took place in April of 20,
Right.
and we sold our last Generation 1 shoe in August of, just last month.
wow.
Yeah, so we just moved through all of that inventory. And
But in the scheme of things, that's still not that. I mean, I guess it is in retail to hold all that, but still, how cool.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool that it's
Yeah.
that it's all gone,
Well, and we're fresh and new and rolling forward.
So something else I'm thinking of, you being in M&A, I'm sure you got approached multiple times by other businesses asking you to come be a part of them?
Yes. Normally, it was as their general counsel.
Okay.
And so not quite as much in a business role. And
So, like, what about this? Was it the person or the product that gave you the confidence to jump?
He has to say
all the
person.
above.
He has to say
All the
person.
above. It was sort of the opportunity. In fact, I went and spoke with Mike, and first thing Mike said was, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea you would consider this." And I said, "Well, I haven't been able to sleep at night because I've been thinking about it."
How cool.
And he said, "Well, gosh, don't we need a shoe guy as our CEO?" And he said, "Well, just give me a day to think about it." He called me back early the next morning and said, "Man, we're going to license. We're going to probably have to raise some funds. That's what you do. We're going to build fast." He said, "Let's keep talking." And within a few days, we had decided this was going to work.
Shoe people are crazy. You don't want them leading companies.
No, you want them in the marketing.
You want them in the marketing and making
product
the
development.
shoes. You know, I would love to see you two sitting next to each other. I bet you guys are like the perfect pair. Like seriously,
sounds
from what
like-
I'm
yeah.
envisioning, he's sounding a little bit more like down my road. You know, just
You would love
move
it.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like I just see such a complementary pair between you two. I mean, of course, I don't know Mike, but
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And I think he feels the same way. And,
So
and fortunately, we're seeing incredible success. So we're seeing a lot of
right.
up and to the right.
It's amazing. People make all. I mean, the product's amazing, obviously, but I mean, you can't do it without the right people. And it sounds like that kind of right off the bat. Just you guys kind of hit a home run with the team.
Yes, and I would say yes. We built
Yeah.
the team over time. We just recently, maybe a year ago, we hired an ex-Nike exec, Skip Lee, who he works remotely from Portland.
Okay.
But he was our first. We had a lot of engineers, bag makers. We'd figured out how to make shoes, but Skip was the first one who came and said, "Okay, let's make shoes that are comfortable, that work." And so
Dial it in a little bit.
good, another good addition. So we've added as we went.
Okay. So when did what was the biggest change from version 1.0 to version 2.0 of the shoes?
Yeah, I would say we went from a high price point, average 140, 150, 160,
Okay.
to a $99 price point that worked for a larger. We became more approachable and accessible to more consumers. We moved to a sport-inspired athleisure lane and away from dress shoes and leather shoes.
So is that how? So it started with more the leather then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we were making sneakers, but like on the fancy end, the nicer end of sneakers. So we moved to a better price point, a younger and more athleisure product, and then we wanted to change our voice. We wanted to be more approachable. That's what Alex and his team brought to us. We went to Harmon Brothers for some help with education and voice, and it's those components pulled together, so that last fall about this time we really started selling a lot of shoes.
So cool.
What's the name Kizik? I'm so curious about that. Where did that come from?
Mike's wife Jana made it up.
Oh,
Are you serious?
Yes.
Just like that.
Yes. And the only thing we've been able to find so far is that there is a city in Turkey called Kizik. And we don't have distribution to Turkey, but has nothing to do
What?
with that. She made it up.
Kizik.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard
there
of
any,
That's
like-
amazing.
How?
I don't know.
It's like it has to be 2 syllables, bookended by K's. Kizik. That's crazy.
yeah. Backwards, it's also Kizik.
And that's cool too. I didn't think about
It
that.
is.
All the
Palindrome, yeah.
interesting. So, how many people do you have on like the design side, as far as like looks and textures and that kind of stuff?
We have a design team of 3, plus we have a consultant, a woman-owned consulting firm out of Portland. That they're great shoemakers and designers.
Okay.
So I might just have us back up for one moment. We start with a lab of engineers. So they deliver to our design team, here are 5 ways to make a hands-free shoe. And that is a group full of designers as well. But then our design team, then they take the technology and design shoes.
So, like, what changes do they make? Like, this engineering team, like, as they're designing these hand-free shoes, is it just different angles the foot comes in, or you know what I mean? Like, I'd love to see them work on, like.
I'm trying to figure out what shoe labs are in Portland.
Yeah, there are lots. There are lots.
Okay.
We do business with a company called Nike. I don't know if you,
Okay,
if you do that. but
I just wonder.
it's not a lab there, though. It's the kitchen.
That's true.
It's the kitchen.
Right.
So
That's right.
we could tell you a little bit about our relationship with Nike. But back to your question about what our lab does. I know we are on a podcast and our listeners can't see, but
Go check out YouTube. You'll be able to look at it.
yeah, I'm holding up a shoe that this particular shoe has a titanium wire in the back. So when you step on the back of the shoe, it presses down the back of the heel. And once
So
your
it doesn't
foot
fold forward, it folds back.
folds back, that's right.
Oh, okay.
And once your foot is all the way in, that titanium, that's a great quality of titanium. It returns to its exact form, and that heel is up around your heel, and it's all the way on. Now, I'll give you an idea, though, of what our lab might
And
do.
it's light because it's titanium.
It's light, but that titanium is a little bit expensive.
Sure.
So one thing our lab might do, for example, and it has done in some of our shoes, is they might figure out the right kind of polymer or plastic to replace that titanium. Shoes less expensive, performs the same. That's an example of what our lab might do.
That's a CEO colorway, by the way. I'm looking on the website and I am not seeing it.
Oh yeah, this
That's a player. That's a player edition
don't
right
you like
there.
that?
That's
shoe.
called a one-off right there,
That's
folks.
called. I pulled that out of the box right before I left, and I
Wow.
said, "I hope no one cares if I'm wearing this today."
That is a one of one right
Yeah.
there.
I'm like, I went through like 3 times. I'm like, it looks like the Prague, but no, I don't see that brown leather right there.
It is the
It's
Prague.
the Prague, just your own
It's
colorway.
the bone color,
Okay.
just not out yet.
Okay.
Give us a few weeks.
See, you're a
Give us a few
baller.
weeks.
If I'm a CEO, I will not wear anything that the consumer can buy. I'm going to stay one season ahead.
That's right.
That's such a cool shoe, though. That's the one that I'm kind of drawn to, also, because you're right. It is like it's close to the creme brulee, is what it's called. On the
Yes,
website,
I love
but
that creme brulee. Also,
Man, that's
the
a cool
dusk,
shoe.
the dusk blue Prague is a great colorway.
Dusk blue.
Comes with 2 color of laces.
Ooh, yeah.
I pull out the blue laces. I pull out the navy laces and put in the white. They look awesome.
Wow. Look at you turn into a shoe guy.
I know.
I love it.
I know.
Did you have to wear a suit when you were a lawyer?
Oh man, for the first 10 years, no, I'd say 6 years of my career in Dallas, I wore a suit, not just a suit, not a tie. You can't wear a sport coat.
Right.
A suit with a white shirt and a tie every day.
Yeah.
Life is better. If I wear a collared shirt now, my team, they just laugh at me.
Really? Like, oh, something serious is about to happen.
Yeah.
He's wearing a collar today.
So was licensing always part of the strategy of the brand? Because I know you mentioned it a little bit.
We knew that was a possibility.
Okay.
And
Is that? I mean, that's why you went after the patents. Was a big reason, I'm sure.
yeah, absolutely. We were trying to build a defensible position. And, how fortunate are we that at the same time, Mike and his little team inside of OGIO was thinking about easy on and off. So was a much bigger team at Nike. You go look at the history of Nike's Fly Ease program.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love when Nike says every one with a body is an athlete, and we make shoes that all athletes can put on. I just love that tie together, right? So Nike was thinking about and working on this Fly Ease program where shoes were easier to put on.
Right.
They started with some that could zip on, some that could, some that would use Velcro and one-handed entry, and the holy grail of Easy On is hands-free. Just step in. Right. And so isn't it cool that at the same time Nike was working on this problem, we were also solving the same problem?
I mean, I'm just going to say, if anyone paid attention to the footwear that was on the Olympic athletes this year, they may or may not have had hand-free shoes.
Yeah, well, they did. We don't talk about what Nike does. We talk about what we do. But wasn't that a beautiful shoe? It's called the Nike Glide Fly Ease that the U.S. Olympians had on the medal stand. Were on the medal stand in Tokyo. It's so beautiful. And I love that shoe. I have a couple pair.
It's awesome. Because you guys have Kizik, which is your like consumer-facing brand, right?
Correct.
But you have the lab, which kind of, is that where all the patents and all that kind of stuff lives?
Yes, that's called Hands-Free Labs. And as you can imagine, we don't talk about what Nike does, but
of course,
what Nike has is the right to use. Of course, they have oodles and oodles of their own great stuff.
You guys have a relationship with Nike, though,
Our
right?
relationship with Nike is that they're a minority owner of our company.
Okay.
So they own a small piece of our company. And we license to them the right to use all of our hands-free software. So as we develop it, they have the right to use it. So we're thrilled to have that partnership with Nike.
Do you get to go to the employee store now? Whenever you want.
Unfortunately, I think nobody gets to go on Nike's campus much.
That's true. I guess
the
right
pandemic.
now. So have to go stock up when it's over.
Yeah.
You guys.
I still have never been there.
I know. I haven't either. I've been invited. I've been invited 3 times, and I've never been able to go.
That's almost like the Masters for me, like getting into the Nike.
No, I think the Nike store would be easier than the Masters, but
easier, but a similar type of experience.
100%, and also as expensive.
Yeah.
You said I was humble, but I have been to both places.
Okay.
Winning.
So as you guys are thinking of shoes, have you always been men and women? Did you start just a men's shoe? Are you thinking of getting into kids? Like, how does that evolvement look, or that process look? Evolution. That was the word I was going for.
What is evolvement?
I used like 4 different words, and I finally got to the right one.
Sound like me. Sound like me today.
We started as an early brand. We started mostly with men's, but we had some women's shoes. We've sort of moved to unisex now. So almost all of our shoes are unisex. And I think I wear every shoe that we make. So it doesn't matter the color. I wear them all. Kids, it's a number one question that our customers ask. When are you going to make kids shoes? Shall I make an announcement?
Yes.
We're going to make kids shoes next year.
I can't believe that I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
like,
that's
that
going to
is
be the most
such
amazing.
A no-brainer.
Is the technology harder on a smaller shoe? Or has it hasn't been?
It is a little more challenging because it's smaller.
Yeah.
Right.
But
it's also less weight of a
Isn't it a great solution though? Think about it.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing.
I have a little granddaughter. She started wearing hands-free shoes when she was 3, and she feels really privileged. I'm kidding. Right. She has no idea. But what she does is she has these little. I hope I can say this. Has these little Walmart shoes that we made in our lab to be hands-free. She has several other pair of shoes, but she loves this one because she walks up,
for sure,
puts her hands on the wall, stables herself, bam, bam, she's in, out the door. That's all that matters to her. Now I get to go.
Jeez.
So
I need some bowling shoes too. While you guys are at it, that's my new hobby. I got boas. I got the shoes. I got are the boas, which I love boas, but.
Cool technology. Huh?
It is cool technology. Like I've got my snowboard boots too, but you still have to bend over and twist the knob. I just want to step in and go, baby.
I can't wait for the kid shoes. That's
amazing.
Because that's always the biggest fight. Like when you have to transition from like the Velcro to tying laces, it's just like, no.
Are kids not going to learn how to tie laces now?
I hope not.
You are exactly right. That's our vision.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Why? And part of the advertisement for your podcast is that you want to talk to people that rethink the way we do simple things to make life different. That's what Mike and team have done, so that to the point where we think kids will have no need to tie their shoes, and that everyone should be wearing hands-free shoes.
It's just like we don't have the Rand McNally map books in our cars anymore. You know, those big spiral-bound books that
Yeah.
it's like don't have to stop for directions. You don't have to memorize streets. And everyone's like, well, how do you know where you're going? I'm like, I'll never need to know ever again because of this little guy.
Or when was the last time you rolled down your window?
Yeah.
And you might push a button and you might say, I'm rolling down my window, but it doesn't make sense because you're pushing a button.
That's true. When I tell my kids roll down your window, they probably never, they're like, why am I rolling?
I know when do we change the verb, right?
Yeah.
Like how much after the technology changes or how long after that
That's so
do we get
interesting.
rid of the, probably when we die.
I'll tell you what we hear a lot. Another example we use is a key fob.
Right.
I mean, when's the last time you stuck your key into your car to open your car door? Some people say, man, you guys are just fostering laziness. and we hear that criticism. But
That's such bull crap.
yeah, it is. You know what? What's wrong with making life easier?
Just means you can hop on your exercise machine faster.
Yeah, there we go.
You don't bend over and go, oh, I don't want to do this today. My back hurts.
Do they stay on good enough, like to work out in them?
Yes. In fact, if you go online, you can find some. You can find. We do not make shoes that are designed for athletic performance. We don't. But it's important that our customers understand that when they buy a shoe, they can put them on. They can. So we have content out there that shows people on trampolines, that show people doing a parkour course after. Absolutely,
Okay.
when they're on. They're all the way on.
Well, hey, you know, with this new friend that you guys have that owns a piece of your company, I can see some of the self-lacing coming together with the step-ins or with the, hands-free shoes. How cool would that be? Where you can have athletic performance with the step-in, press a button on your, or no, not even a button, because I had a pair of those BB, like 2.0s or whatever.
Yeah.
And the second you put a certain amount of pressure on your shoe, they just go.
tighten.
Oh man, why is he's grinning while I'm saying?
Oh no! I
What's going on over here?
He's
all
an attorney.
have-
He's not going to let
Where-
anything
how do
leak.
you-
No.
How does he know?
I am not going to talk about what our friends at Nike might do, but the truth is, we have confidence that they can do anything.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
they can do anything. That's for sure.
Well, you guys have built such a fun brand. To your point, like your digital team is doing such a good job.
How cool is Utah? Sorry, I just had to say that really quick. Is there really any other state this small that has so much awesome stuff? So many cool companies, so many innovative companies. What is it?
It's true. People always ask with the podcast, like, are you going to run out of guests? I'm like,
No.
we have like a plethora.
Plethora.
Well, and if you look back a few years, a plethora. I love that word.
Plethora. I don't even think that means what you think it means.
El guapo.
El guapo.
I could only think it whenever I see her plethora. I could just see it.
Plethora.
Do I have a plethora of piñatas?
Oh, you're speaking Spanish.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, but like, how hard has it been, or has it been hard, fun to build like that consumer facing brand? Putting out the content you're putting out, you guys are doing such a good job. Like, how have you found so much success in that?
Yes, it hasn't been easy, to be truthful.
Sure.
Because we're teaching something. We're teaching a solution to a problem that people don't even know they have, and it's still an ongoing process. What's great is we get a lot of feedback from our customers. It's a kind of feedback that shows you that they're talking about it, and we have all kinds of data. The data shows that almost a quarter of our customers learned about us from talking to someone else. That's free, and
Sure.
that's the kind of growth that you want to have, organic growth that you want to have. But what we hear, the types of reviews. I told you the number one question: when are you going to have kids' shoes? But besides that, people are saying, "Well, I might have a closet full of shoes, and I might look at all of them. It doesn't matter. I step into my Kizik's because they're so easy."
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't really like my shoes anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I want these.
Yeah.
Because it is like, I usually choose easy, comfortable. Like, so many of my shoes don't get worn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's insane. But
They also say, now I have 4 pair. One of my favorites. This is one of my favorites. They say, I bought a pair of these and they're so convenient, but it made me think, I'm going to buy a pair for my dad.
right.
Or I'm going to buy a pair for my sister who's expecting a baby. Or I'm going to buy a pair for my buddy who just had ACL surgery from a ski accident. Isn't that a cool
It's way
thing?
cool, but it also what's even cooler to me is that you want to do all that, but you still want to wear it yourself. What's the line? I remember like, nice shoes. Do those serve an orthopedic function or something? Oh, what movie was this from? But it's like,
I need to learn that movie.
yeah, it's it'll come to me. I want to say it's an Adam Sandler movie, but to your point, generally shoes like that, you think of like Crocs. Like shoes you're not going to wear out. Well, unless you work in a kitchen. I'll wear Crocs all day long because they make kitchen shoes. But
Except Crocs are so popular right now again.
Big time.
okay, for a minute, but they're still
So
ugly.
interesting.
I know they've got some cool shoes, but I'm just saying but it's still not like a shoe.
Sure.
So to have something that works for somebody who just had ACL surgery or is pregnant or, but still really cool
Yeah.
to wear just normal, like that's a big deal. You know what I mean?
It's such a big deal that, it's great to be a company with a mission.
Right.
And some companies have to stop and think, what's our mission going? What's going to be the purpose of our purpose-driven company? We don't have to do that. Right. Our purpose is make convenient shoes for everyone, but also make a shoe that's beautiful,
Yeah.
that's mainstream, but that helps people who need it most.
Wow. How many companies can say they do that? Like how many retail companies, Spanx, they do that, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Right?
That
I'm
makes
just
sense.
saying but even that's not like, that's solving the problem inside your clothes. Well, I guess they have leggings and stuff, but I just can't think of anything like maybe I'm not making my point good enough to have something cool enough that everybody wants to wear, but comfy and convenient enough that like nurses, injured people, like ACL, expecting moms, like elderly, everyone wants to wear them. So like what brands with this many, because you really only have like, 5 or 6 different models with multiple colorways, of
Right.
course.
That's right.
But with that small of a, that few of models covers so many different demographics.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And just to add one more, think about when we go to Asia or the Middle East where culture is you take off your shoes. A lot of us are shoes off cultures, but that'll be great when we can offer that to people who take off their shoes every time they walk in the house.
Sheesh.
What's your most popular model?
The Madrid.
The Madrid.
EcoKnit Madrid. It's just a simple shoe. Honestly, we have 3 that I would call our most popular. One is the Madrid. Number 2 is the Athens.
Okay.
We just released the Athens, and it is replacing our Cairo. They both have the external technology that you can see on the back of the heel.
Yeah.
And then this shoe that I'm wearing now, the Canvas Prague and its counterpart, which is the leather Vegas,
Yeah.
also are selling off the shelf.
Okay. Do you guys, is it hard not to roll out like different models like too quickly? You know what I mean? Like the design team, is it hard to, or what does that process look like from like brain to engineering team to the design? You know what I mean? Like how long does that take before you feel like you have a new, whether it's just a color or it's a whole line that you want to roll out?
Yeah. In a word, yes, it's hard because we have lots of ideas and everyone loves their idea. And it's in the shoe business, it's discipline.
Yeah.
You manage your SKUs, and that's what we try to do. And we haven't always been perfect, but we're in a good spot right now.
Yeah. Cause all of your shoes are good looking. Like
They are.
Like I'll use Nike as the example. They roll some ugly shoes out. And it's like, how did those get past your team?
Right.
Because they're so good at some stuff.
Politics.
But then some stuff, it's like,
Somebody was out of favor somewhere.
man, that one is, try that one over again.
Of course, they have such a diverse audience with a lot of
That's
lot
true.
of subculture
That's true.
audiences. So they have the luxury to do that. And someone's loving that shoe that you think's ugly.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
What shoe were you thinking of, Andrew?
The Paul George basketball shoe. It is terrible.
Oh, yeah. This year's especially.
But it keeps coming out with new models. It's
Yeah.
so weird.
It is weird.
Sorry, side note.
It's called a contract. Like, dang it, we got to think of another stupid colorway. This ugly shoe.
Oh,
I didn't like him in Game 6, by the way.
No.
It's the Jazz. Doggone it.
no.
Do we win that with Kawhi Leonard still in? Did he have to like go to a different level?
You're
We shouldn't get
You're
started.
going to want to
Andrew
go with
started.
Jazz, huh?
It's a weird question.
We don't want to get him started.
So, I mean, as the leader of the company, obviously you got kids shoes coming out. Is the idea to find more licensed partners like a Nike, or is the idea to build your own brand and kind of maybe that's the flag you're going to plant?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And it's a question, the answer to which has changed over time. We did a license with Nike.
Yep.
We talked to a number of other brands. And then we started having great success with our Kizik, our own brand. So we've backed off of that strategy, and we're building value very quickly in our Kizik brand. So we're not out there anymore.
Okay.
Trying to license. We think the right place to be is to save room for our Kizik brand and keep rolling. So you got it.
So I mean, if there was an exit strategy, would it be to build the brand big enough that then someone comes in and just buys you out completely, or just establish yourself as the hands-free brand?
Yes. I think the latter is probably where we're aiming. It's possible that we do. You
never know with business.
You don't ever know, and I have a duty to my shareholders, and so we'll always try to keep ourselves in a position to do what we need to do. But I know it's bold to say, but we look at Elon Musk and Tesla. What do? They just build the next awesome thing, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And, could Elon Musk sell Tesla? Yes. Could he go public? He has. We'll just grow, and we think our potential is almost endless. Everyone wears shoes.
Totally.
Yeah.
$400 billion market, and that's where we're headed.
Oh, so fun.
Call the Asia thing. Can you imagine? Like, oh my gosh, just 1 billion extra customers. No big deal. Wow.
It's challenging to figure out how to get there the right way, though.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
So we'll figure it out.
I'm sure.
So you've done such a fantastic job of like building the team. Where do you feel like this next stage of growth, like, do you feel like you have the team ready for that, or is there other pieces that you're wanting to bring in as you kind of grow a little bit more?
Yes, definitely other pieces. We will head in the direction of our own retail stores we'll start that in the next couple of years.
Okay.
Why would we do that? Because as a digitally native brand, we today control, that's the wrong way. We work directly with our consumers. We manage the relationship with our consumers. We think an extension of that is to be in a physical brick and mortar store. Why? You can see it on a video, you can see it on our website, but I promise you,
It's shoes.
it's shoes. When you can
shoes.
touch them, not with your hands.
Right.
Your hands.
When you can put your foot into a shoe without hands.
I see employees like, don't touch those.
Yeah.
Just put your feet in them.
What did
That would be
you
so
just
funny.
do?
I just slap my hand.
Okay, preview. I didn't say it, but just hang on. Couple of weeks, we'll see what happens.
Yes.
Keep your
can't wait.
Keep your hands off of those shoes.
It's like one of those restaurants where like you pay to have them be mean to you. Like you walk into the shoe store and like you go to grab the shoe and they just like slap your
So
hand.
now do we have to reinvent the shoebox? Right? And the shelving. We gotta have we gotta have feet shelves, hands-free boxes. Or just no boxes. I don't know. Yeah, you could have it like those new car vending machines. Have you seen those? There's one on the Carvana. Have you seen that big new one off the just do that. You just press the button. Just press the button and the shoes that you want to try on just come out. You just step into them. Like, I'm good. X. They go back in. It'd be kind of cool.
We've done a couple of live events, and we're really surprised at how many people will come, pull the shoes out, hand their camera to someone and say, "Okay, here I go," and they will record that first interaction with hands-free shoes. We love that. Obviously.
I was going to say,
then they're going to share it. And,
it you want to prove it, like until like I saw it right in front of my face with your shoes, but I still need to feel it.
There's that little like skepticism
that doubt, because I've been wearing the same
they're really
shoes
going to feel comfortable.
42 years I've been dealing with the same thing with shoes. So to just all of a sudden be able to change your brain to think that you really can just step in and out of these things.
Shame on me for not having shoes in front of you before I came on. But just wait. Give me a couple of days. I'll have some shoes back here for you.
Andrew, add to that. Let's lay it on really thick. Let's really make sure we get some.
I can't wait to try a pair on because I'm so interested to see how they feel on because they look so comfortable. But anytime, like to Cam's point, I have shoes that I don't want to tie, so I'll leave them loose, but they're loose.
Right.
You know what I mean? You walk around.
Nothing worse than loose shoes.
Yeah.
I hate them.
They're sloppy or they'll flap.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Also, we can feel a little younger still and look cool. But, I'm getting to the age now where I don't really care about it as much. Like, if my shoes are flopping around, and when you're rocking 15 all leather shoes, like those suckers are heavy. So if you don't, if I don't tie up some Jordan 3s, if I don't tie those up a little bit, you're right. Like, my heel is probably 3 inches above the shoe every time I take a step, and then it's just like smash, smash, smash. So,
how about if we give you something you can cinch up as tight as you want, step right into it all the way on.
So cool.
Yep.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Me either.
I can't wait.
Tomorrow's going to be fun when we go to the warehouse and get to pick them out.
Come on over.
Yes.
We'll show you all the pair of 15 double E's.
Yes. Remote. That's the thing. I keep clicking on shoes and they keep saying, oh, I just found my first one not in stock. The Madrid in black does not have a 15 double E, but that's okay.
So is Mike still in the lab?
So cool.
Inventing for Kizik, or is he just playing mad scientist and inventing for anything now?
No, he's pretty focused. He's with us. He's with us several days a week and thinking about. He does move beyond hands free. I'll give you an example. No one's ever really conquered the idea of making a shoe that can get bigger or smaller. That's adjustable. Hang on tight. Give us a little while. We'll have a shoe. We'll have a shoe that can get bigger.
See, and that's what people forget. Like I remember that with the Nike BB stuff. Like that was the whole. Because I played hockey my whole life, and with hockey skates, you need them tight. Yeah. And then basketball players are the same thing. So the whole reason that Tinker Hatfield started thinking about this self-lacing thing was when you hop up and put pressure, we tighten those up. But when you sit down, the pressure's off, they loosen so you can get blood circulating back through your feet. But come work in a restaurant and tell me that your feet don't grow almost a whole size by the end of your shift. It's crazy. And that's a big deal. So to have something that could kind of like nurses, doctor, anybody on their feet all day will tell you that you almost have you almost have like the beginning of your shift size and the end of your shift size. Like the best advice I got when I first opened was this old guy who'd been in it forever. He's like, bring 2 pairs of shoes to work every day. Switch them halfway through the shift.
Really?
Yeah. Just because they get, they just get kind of bottomed out and they lose their cushion, and it's just,
How about if we just give you, I'm jumping the gun
here,
guys. I'm jumping the gun.
That's what I'm saying.
Probably, my buddy lawyer, Eric Nielsen's going to say, what are you doing, Monty? But,
time to start reading the law books again, Monty.
Put down the business books, pick up the legal code.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a cool idea, though, huh?
It's a very cool idea, and it solves another huge problem. It's funny. My brain went to hands-free T-shirts a second ago. I'm like, tell Mike to figure that one out. Like the Jetsons. You know what I mean? Hey, did you think hands-free shoes? It could work. You never know.
You'd be surprised what he thinks about. So, he works a lot on inventions that are complementary to hands-free footwear. They might be shoe inventions. They might be apparel inventions. So,
does he have any personal connection with that, whether it's like a family member who has medical issues that was, they struggled. Like, was there like a pain point that like drew this invention out of him?
Let's see if we can get him behind a microphone one of these days.
Yeah, that would be so fun.
You would love to ask. You'd love to know. I think what part of what it is for Mike is just he was in the bag industry, which is a big industry, but not like shoes.
Oh yeah.
And his motivation was, wow, I am working on a problem that I can solve for all 7 to 8 billion people.
Exactly.
Every single person.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a market?
Well, I mean, it's like backpacks. Not everybody wears backpacks, but like I always have a backpack, and they made great backpacks. And it's like thread. Backpacks are still huge. People are always trying to make backpacks better, but it's still not shoes.
No.
Like not even close.
No.
So
my kids like it a lot better sitting at the dinner table on Sunday. They're all gone. They come back, though. They like talking about shoes more than the law. For sure. For sure. Shoes are good. Shoes are a good place to be.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, what companies did you sell this week, Dad?
Well, that's just so fun. Thank you for coming on. And so everyone's going to want to go buy some. So where are they going? Remind everyone where they need to go to find you.
Kizik.com, KIZIK.com.
Okay. And all your socials, is it?
Yes, you can go to Kizik.com. If you want to reach out to me, Monte Deere, MONTEDEERE, on LinkedIn. If you reach out to me on LinkedIn, I'll send you a code for a nice discount.
Oh.
Just tell Nitty Gritty sent you.
Listen
right?
up. And then Instagram is Where Kizik.
Yes.
So WEARKIZIK, Where Kizik. And your content is awesome. So not only is the product cool, but you guys are doing a fantastic job with content. So you're a fun follow.
Thank you.
And a Utah company. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I mean, the shoe business, that had to be so scary.
Shout out to other consumer goods companies. I know you had Mackenzie Bauer on here with Thread Wallets.
Right.
I don't know if you've had Jay with Pillow Cube and
We haven't had
No,
Pillow.
not
We've had
Cotopaxi. Have you had?
We need to get
Yeah.
on.
So it is
a lot of them here.
new to have consumer goods that are thriving in Utah.
Freshly
We love it.
picked,
We love
freshly
it.
picked, baby.
Yeah, freshly picked.
She's been on twice. Susan's been on twice.
Yeah,
Yep.
wonderful company.
And she loves shoes too. We had Corey from Taft
Yes,
on here.
making
Awesome
great shoes.
Oh yeah, Betty's Beds. Yeah, we've had a bunch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel bad when we realize who we have forgotten. 'Cause there's probably quite a few.
Didn't mean to set you up for that, but
No, it's all good.
There are enough now. You go back 10 years, you couldn't have said that.
What about? Have you had any manufacturing issues with shoes?
Oh, we've been fortunate. We're a single source. We have a single source manufacturing.
Wow.
Is it with the
Supply
same place,
chain right now.
OGO?
No. Our manufacturer is out of Vietnam right now. We're moving to a second, so we diversify here in the next couple of months. But we've been fortunate. There are all kinds of problems in southern Vietnam near Ho Chi Minh City, but we're up in the north near Hanoi.
Do you ever have to go
COVID
out there?
problems. I wish we could go out there. We
Well,
could
not
we
right
make
now,
those shoes.
obviously.
Yeah, I've been 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool to go
That's
to
where it
Asia.
gets
Have you
us.
ever been to Asia?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's life changing.
I want to go to the factories. I want to see these shoes made.
Yeah, well, that's where he gets his one-off color.
I know.
You're just like, hey, make me this color,
He's like,
please.
he pulls this over. He's like, here, this is the CEO shoe that I'm wearing today.
Yeah, it was more like, hey, are you guys going to shoot me if I take this pair of shoes that I found? Because sometimes they haven't been
Whatever.
photographed yet. So
Sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. And everyone go check out some shoes and go get some for you and everyone you
We
know.
will make sure to post some that are on our feet very shortly.
Yes.
I
I
can't. I
appreciate
seriously can't wait. I can't wait.
thank you, Andrew and Cameron
Of course.
and Brent.
Thank you.